Good morning and welcome to the weekly media availability for UTSA soccer with eighth-year head coach Derek Pittman, joined today by junior goalkeeper Jasmine Kessler, who earned her 12th career solo clean sheet last night in the win over Lamar, now tying Dasha Webb and Jill Schneider for the UTSA program career shutouts record. Congratulations, Jasmine, and the Roadrunners went 2-0 on the week, also defeating St. Mary's. This week, UTSA travels for the first time in the season to meet Mountain West opposition at Colorado State on Thursday and Colorado College on Sunday. Let's go ahead and get things started with a summary of the week and thoughts on the week ahead from Coach Pittman.
Thanks, Michael. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for being here and jumping on. Obviously, congratulations to Kessler. Huge accomplishment for her to be able to tie the record for career shutouts. Massive accomplishment by her and her teammates. So really, really proud of Kess and everything that she's done for us in goal for the last 2.5 years. So can't wait for many more. We can get 12 more. That's the goal. So, but yeah, no, really happy with our team. We knew, after a really difficult weekend against Houston and TCU, teams sometimes have the, potential to have a let off, to take the foot off the gas, and we really pushed them this past week in training on Tuesday and Wednesday leading up to St. Mary's, just to a demand that our players play at our standard. Our UTSA standard is what we want to be measuring ourselves by, and I think although we started a little bit slow against St. Mary's, I thought that we kind of grew into the game. St. Mary's always gives us a physical match and a difficult, opponent as they prepare for, what they're getting ready for in their particular season. But it was great to be able to score some of the goals that we did and be able to get another shutout on the season. And then same thing, going into a Lamar team here at home, it was going to always be difficult. Lamar had played, although they stumbled a little bit out of the gates against Louisiana, I thought they fixed a lot of things in their preparation for Texas A&M, and they just narrowly lost that game. So we knew it was going to be a tough contest. We knew it was going to be a tough opponent. They came in here on fresh legs, having not played on Thursday, but our players stood tall. And again, although we started a little bit slow, grew into the game. Got much better, made some adjustment at halftime. The players did a phenomenal job adjusting and correcting the things that we noticed throughout the first half, and then to ultimately put ourselves in a position to earn the winning goal on a penalty, and then Kess making a massive save on a PK in the last second of the game to preserve that win was a tremendous performance by everybody. And we talk about it all the time. We don't care who gets the credit. It does not matter whose name ends up on the score sheet. It matters that we all are collectively doing our job to be successful as a team. And so I thought we did that, and it's exactly what we're going to need this week as we prepare for a really difficult road trip up to Colorado. Colorado State's a fantastic team. We found that out last year. They've got some really special players that can score goals. They've got a kid up front that scored 4 goals in their first 4 games, so we're going to have to keep her quiet. We're going to have to come in and be very organized. And then the same thing, Colorado College is a top side in the Mountain West. So, again, tough road test, but it's what we think is going to help continue to prepare us for, the American Conference once we get rolling in league play. So, overall, things have been really, really good these first few weeks, and we want to just keep it going.
Now, you touched on this just a little bit, but I'm sure you would have liked to have put yesterday's match away before the closing seconds fully, but the fortitude that your team showed in the final minute to preserve the win, what can a moment like that do for your team in the long run?
A few years back, they took away overtime, right? We don't go to overtime anymore. And last night was as close as we're going to get until we get into the playoffs. To be able to see our players go sprinting out onto the field to celebrate with Kessler and her teammates, dogpiling her on making that big-time save. It was very heartwarming. It was very exciting, exhilarating for our team, and definitely continues to give ourselves confidence as we move forward. But I think more than anything, Michael, we showed a tremendous amount of toughness in the opening weekend. Again, against Houston, it's a quality team. Against TCU, who we know in the top 10. We learned how tough we were mentally and physically in those games. And I think that, in key moments like we had last night, down in the last second of the game, to be able to pull off a big result and Kess make a big save in that moment. And she's simply she's going to tell you she's doing her job. That's what she's there for. That's why she's so big time. And, just like anybody else across the board doing their job when they need to. And it takes the whole team to have success. And, we definitely needed every bit of it last night for sure.
Jasmine, along the same lines, what was the experience like last night for you with your save in the final, second of the game?
Well, it was, it was a moment where as soon as the ref had blew her whistle for the PK, I was thinking to myself, like, I'm not giving up my shutout for this. So, I trusted that my coaches scouted properly and were giving me the right direction. And, I just got on the line and was like, it's time to make a save. And, it was a little nerve-wracking to know, like, this is it. This is the end of the game. It's the last second. 89:59. And, like, it was very a one-of-a-kind experience, I think. I'd like to hope going forward that we don't do that again.
Never been a part of that ever, for sure.
But, yeah. And then, celebrating with my teammates after the game, getting dogpiled by 27 other girls is, it's fun. That's something I'd like to repeat.
I got one more question for you, Jasmine. I'm going to turn it over to a quick question from Ryland, or a set of questions from Ryland. The defense on the team has been really strong this year and always is in this program. But what's it like to have a great defensive effort like that in front of you?
It makes my job really easy. Makes my job a lot of fun, too. To know that, like, the four girls in front of me, I can rely on them to put in their 100% and never give up and not, let easy things slip. And to know that also they trust me to have their backs and to be that relief from pressure or on a shot. There's a lot of trust in the back line, and I'm very grateful to have that and to be a part of a team like that.
All right, Ryland, let's go ahead and have you jump in.
Jasmine, you mentioned the pressure of some of these situations, and every single game of the season so far has been a close one by 1 point, or except for the 3-0 win against St. Mary's. Can you just talk about how you feel in those high pressure situations? What's your confidence levels looking like in those situations?
I mean, I'd like to say my nerves are the same whether we're down 5 or up 5, tied 0-0, 1-0, up or down. But obviously the tighter games are more stressful. But at the end of the day, I have to rely on my preparation, my training, and also my teammates to know, like, we are where we're meant to be. And, we've put in the work and we can handle those situations as they come to us. And, it's part of the game I love. It's fun to be in those situations where it's tight at the end of the game and you're just clawing your way to a win.
Coach, your perspective on those high pressure situations? Like I said, there's been a lot of close games so far this season. Can you just tell me your thoughts on that?
I think that's just what we do here. We tend to play in tight matches. Michael mentioned earlier, I think our defense has been fantastic, along with Kess and goal. So it's been, we know we have a tremendous amount of, again, like she mentioned, trust in our back line, trust in our philosophies and our playing style and what we do to limit other teams, to make it difficult to break down, our team. And we aim not to give up goals. As a former goalkeeper myself, I understand what Kess is going through in those moments. And the big thing I think that she's taken a huge step forward this year is just in that level of professionalism, maturity, and growth, and not taking a moment, not being checked out, not the thing is it can be hard because there's many times we stay on the attack, we putting a team under pressure, and then a team breaks out. And if you're not staying switched on and you're not being aware and kind of hoping for the best but preparing for the worst, if you're not doing those things as a goalkeeper, sometimes you can get caught, slipping, or you can get caught unaware, and teams at this level can punish you for it. And that's something that Kess has done a phenomenal job this year of keeping our team organized, keeping our team, prepared for the worst in case something does break down and we're not in the right position. She's in a position to make the right save at the right time, or at least put our players in the right positions to make a defensive stop. So that level of maturity and growth and development that she has shown is a huge credit to Kess and how she's come in prepared for this season, and with the renewed determination to be one of the top goalkeepers in the American Conference. And I think she's proving that off the bat here in these first 4 games. So the pressure is a privilege. We love the pressure. That means that we're being prepared, we're being carved into a position to be able to handle these situations as they come to us later in the season, which we know they will in the American League Conference games. So we're happy that our players are standing tall and showing a lot of confidence and belief in themselves to go out and win these tight matches.
Speaking of the American Conference, I know it's still early, but have you kind of gotten a sense of where you feel your team places within this the conference? I know you mentioned the goal obviously is to the conference tournament to make it past that. Just can you speak on the overall talent level of this conference that you've been able to catch so far?
Yeah, the American Conference is a really, really talented league. The usual parties are at the top, to be honest with you. Memphis is 4-0 right now in the season, pulled off a big, huge result against Vanderbilt yesterday, and Vanderbilt was preseason selected to win the SEC this year. So Memphis is right back where I think everybody probably expected them to be, leading the way in the conference. But then you've got great groups like Rice against South Florida. I think ourselves, North Texas, Tulsa, East Carolina, a lot of these teams that are playing really well here early in the season. UAB had a great result yesterday as well. So it's what we fully expect it to be. Honestly, Memphis tends to be at the top, and then after that, it really, in honesty, is anybody's game, and anyone can beat anyone on any given night. Our hopes are that we continue to stay healthy, we continue to grow and develop, in our playing style and keep making steps forward. We talk about that all the time. How do we get better from this? How do we keep improving and moving forward and not staying stagnant and falling behind? So we don't want to be standing still, because if we are, then we're falling behind. So we want to do everything we can to keep moving forward. And I think this weekend's going to give us a good test. Colorado State just beat South Florida at South Florida yesterday, and so going in and playing at Colorado State on Thursday night is going to be a really good test for us. But at the end of the day, we want to put our best performance in and measure ourselves based on our standards and our expectations. And I know our players are excited to be able to go on the road and do that.
All right. If nothing else from Riley. Back-to-back games with some pretty high attendance now at the 6th and 7th Park West attendance at 937, I think, and then 924 in back-to-back games on the week. And UTSA currently ranks in the top 25 in attendance. What have you thought of the environment so far this season?
Kess,
I love it. It's awesome. It's incredible to, look over to the bench and see the stands behind them, and they're just so full of people who want to come watch women's soccer and want to see us play and compete, and they're fans. But we've also built a community here in San Antonio where we have partnerships and relationships with the local club teams and high school teams. And I think my favorite part of this environment is going to the fence after the game and seeing all of the youth soccer players, especially the little girls who've come to watch us play and they see their future in us, and it's awesome. I love seeing the younger generations be devoted to their sport.
Yeah, I just echo what Cass is saying. We've had tremendous attendance from local community and the local soccer club, and shout out to those clubs that have been able to come out, and we hope to have many more of those in the coming games. And it was great last night even to have other student athletes. As we start class today, to have all those UTSA student athletes back on campus, to be able to get them out at our game last night was awesome. Our aim is always to play an entertaining style of soccer. We want to play, fast attacking football, as we talk about, something that gets people on the edge of their seat, and be hard pressed not to say that we didn't do that last night with the last second save and the penalty kick in the last 10 minutes to get us the win. So we're always going to play an entertaining style. We're not going to put the fans to sleep. We're going to be aggressive in everything we do, and so we want our fans to always come out and enjoy it. And it's been really encouraging to continue seeing so many people out at our games, to start the season this year.
Jasmine, your performance in goal has been pretty consistent since you came onto the scene 33 games ago. I spoke with Coach a little bit after the game about you rising into the role of your job and the responsibilities of your job. The numbers that you've got right now are blowing away what you already had that were outstanding numbers against some very tough teams. What would you say that you've done to grow your game and your leadership and just your role within the responsibilities since last season?
A big part of that is just growing up as a person too. Like, every day I learn something new about myself, and I find a way to improve myself. And what I do on the field matters just as much as what I do off the field, in the community, in the classroom, in my personal life. But I've, between last season and now, I feel like I've dedicated a lot of time to just improving myself and, really honing in on the things I want to do to make myself better as a soccer player and as a person. And I feel like I've almost become a more serious person and more focused, more determined, and I have very clear and set goals for myself for this upcoming season that I'm looking forward to accomplishing.
Moving on to another big component of the Lamar win, not just last night, but in general, Coach, what can you say that Zoe May has meant to your team so far this season and over the past couple of years?
Yeah, Zoe, ever since she transferred to us from University of Memphis, has stepped into a big role. Just again, her personality, I would say the biggest thing I love about Zoe May is she genuinely cares about her teammates and the overall success of this program. Yes, she wants to leave her mark. She wants to do things that have never been done here at UTSA. That was one of the big reasons why she came here, to be a part of, something really special. And to see her continue to grow into that position and that role and that responsibility as our captain and as our leader. But she's not a person that is a selfish leader. She is a selfless leader. She is constantly trying to bring other players up around her. She's constantly, talking to me as a coach, like, hey, what do we need to do? How can I help this player? How can I do this? How can I have a bigger impact? She's constantly looking for ways to, again, help the team grow, and especially with so many young and new faces on the team. She's, been the one that's kind of led the way. But again, it can't take away from the other seniors and juniors and experienced players that we have. She couldn't do that without them also rising up in their role. And Kess mentioned it even just in her position. As she grows and develops as a person and grows and develops as a player, she's finding out, instead of being a wide-eyed freshman that isn't quite sure, what this is going to look like and what this is all about, she's now stepping into a role, having been in this program for 2.5 years and grabbing it with both hands and standing tall, from her position, as well as Cam Closa, Haley Lopez, Riley Miller, Michelle Polo, Izzy Lane. All of these players as upperclassmen are doing a phenomenal job. Zoe's the one that probably gets a little bit of the attention for it, and I was really proud of her last night. I gave her the choice to whether she wanted the penalty or not, and she, again, grabbed it with both hands, said, yep, I want this opportunity. I want to put this responsibility on my back. This is my job, and I'm going to take it. And, that was huge, and those are the type of players that you want in your program. I know, other coaches here talk about this all the time, and I'm a firm believer. It's the player's game, right? It's about their decisions in the moment. We can coach and prepare them and set them up for success as much as we possibly can through film and practice and so on. But once that whistle blows, it's up to them to, take ownership of the situation and ownership of the moment. And, Zoe's done a really good job in that, along with, her other fellow upperclassmen for sure. So hopefully we have many more of those positive moments to come as the season goes on.
You got another question, Ron?
Yeah, Coach. Obviously, we've seen some big time plays out of Jasmine, a returner, and Zoe, a returner. But what have you seen from your transfer class? You pulled in some big players from different universities. What have you seen out of them through the first 4 games?
Yeah, where do I start? To be honest with you, when we had a lot of top transfers come into us, I kind of start from the back, if you will. Talia Spain has been fantastic for us at the outside back role, transferring into us from the University of Arkansas. I knew T coming out of high school. We recruited her really hard here the first go round, and she went to play at Arkansas, which, again, hats off to her for putting herself in that position. She learned a lot there, grew up, continued to develop as a player, and we're the ones that are now reaping the benefits of it. And she's done a fantastic job. Aaliyah Durden transferred into us from Seminole State Junior College, and she has been a massive bright spot in our back line, stepping into a role that she hadn't necessarily had at previous places to play center back, and she's done a fantastic job being a big responsible individual in those situations, those settings. So, and then you go on down the list, right? Leah Varela has done very well for us in the midfield as we've kind of put her into that 8 spot where she's able to go box to box. She has the energy, she has the drive and the engine to be able to help us defend, but also help us attack. Again, Izzy Lane transferred to us. Riley Miller transferred to us. Ava Jackson has been fantastic, transferring to us from Arkansas. Although she sat out all last year, she was a phenomenal teammate, studying and learning and being, doing everything she can. So now that she's healthy, she's able to step onto the field. So again, we've had a lot of positives from the transfers, as well as some of the new faces and the young players that has meshed really well with our upperclassmen.
Finally, ask you to expand on what you said in your opening statement. Roadrunners are taking to the air for the first time this season, getting away from Park West, going to play at altitude at that against a pair of Mountain West opponents. What are you looking for from the team this week as you make that first road trip of the regular season?
Yeah, just to continue doing what we've been doing. Today's all about recovery. We got to get back out on the field tomorrow, get in the film room, study the things that we did well, study the things that we're struggling with and we need to fix, and then start to taking a hard look at Colorado State. Like I said, Colorado State's going to be a phenomenal test for us. Honestly, I think they're going to be just as difficult, if not maybe more difficult than our Houston game. So to go in and play against a talented team that's very organized, has some really special attacking players that we're going to have to keep, in check. We need to be prepared to go in and it be a really difficult game. Obviously, they proved that they can win big games by beating South Florida yesterday, which, again, was selected to finish second in the American. I think Colorado State was picked to finish second or third in their preseason poll in the Mountain West. So again, they're a top side, they're a top team. Their coaching staff has done a really good job there, so they're going to be difficult to play against, and that's where our focus solely is. And then once however our performance is in that game, then our attention will turn to Colorado College and getting a result, hopefully down in Colorado Springs. But I think outside of the games themselves, the opportunity for us to go on the road as a team, for the 22 players that are fortunate enough to travel, we want to continue growing our chemistry. We want to continue to grow the relationships and the connections that our players have with each other, and there's nothing more special than to be able to do that when you go on the road and spend time with one another. And I know the players that are unable to travel for whatever reason are going to be working their butt off here at home to be ready when we get back for the games next week. So looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun for our team, and we hope to be coming back with a top performance on Thursday and Sunday.
All right. Well, thank you again, Coach Pittman and Jasmine Kessler, for joining us today. We're wishing the Red Runners luck on the road this week, and we'll see you back here next Monday.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys. Birds
Thank
up.
you.